Hi everyone, Ron Suchiu. This is Wednesday, what is it, the 21st of April, I guess it is. No, is it today? March 21st.
Oh, I'm bad.
Oh, you know what? You might be right. I'm sorry. Yeah. Uh, December, January, February, March. No, we're already in spring. March 21st. Well, anyway, so let's derail the train before we start it rolling here. Anyway, so yesterday we got a little ways into this. This is a synergy piece that we started. This is our third session for it, and it's a different one. And I'm gonna be confessing my soul to you guys today a little bit because something really strange is happening with the piece. But just let me before I go into that. I'll review it for you guys that haven't seen. I started a synergy piece. I wanted to offer we're in lockdown again with COVID. The symbols of yin and yang being the balance of life, good and bad, and everything. It's almost like all opposites seem to stabilize us as humanity, as a species, and. So I thought yin and yang would be a fun piece to work with. And what I did on the first session was I surprised Kelsey and Colleen with the fact that we would do a three-part synergy. We'll bring three people together and do a painting together. And I had already decided it was going to be yin and yang, so I penciled out the actual symbol, and I'm going to just write in here. I would have just penciled out that and then a line down through it, and hopefully that worked for you, but and then they didn't even know, so the very first thing I did was put them into a little bit of shock when I said that they're actually going to paint the synergy piece with me. And it ended up Kelsey has done the red piece of which would be the yang part, and the part over here would be yin. So, and that's Colleen's. And it was neat because everything it almost like the painting has its own mind a little bit, because, Kelsey, they had a chance to pick out or kind of fight between the two of them to choose the color and the side that they wanted, but there was no fight because it was automatic. Kelsey wanted the red, Colleen wanted the blue, Kelsey wanted the left-hand side, and Colleen wanted the right. So, that just proves, that's total proof, 100% that yin and yang works. Yeah, not really, but. So anyway, people that don't realize or that you don't, if you do or don't know, I am the actual creator of the art form synergy art. And I've had people say, well, I went online and I've seen synergy artists. Well, you haven't seen visual synergy artists. We started this 5 years ago in Chicago. The very first piece I sold was to a doctor in Chicago, and I've claimed it at that point. I called it. I named my own art form Synergy Art, and now it continues on. And this is a first in one way, and it's a very surprising one to me. I hope I'm not just rambling, but you're going to have to put up with me for a few minutes here. But I never brought three people together on a synergy piece. It seems like in the larger pieces, which I'm enjoying, and the full intention is over the years is to do synergy art with different people. Even if you chose that you wanted to do it yourself, I have set up a plan that I can work with independent people on synergy art pieces. So anyway, but there were always two, and although some of them looked fairly elaborate, this little guy here, which is only a little 18 by 18 inch painting that had the simplest subject as far as I was concerned, is becoming extremely complex in my soul. And when you do something, I'm not, people that know me, I try to always have fun. I try to stay light and lively and easygoing and everything else, but I didn't realize that synergy, deep down in, it was actually, it's almost like the painting, the art form told me that it had to come into existence. And I was discussing with Kelsey this morning a little bit, because like Kelsey's fairly new with us, and she's just starting to know my true persona, my real, the depth of my artistic soul. And I was kind of confessing, which I'm going to do to you, or for you right now, is that I'm confessing that I've never really felt, although, you know, my grandmother thought I was a psychic, and, you know, I have psychic X's on my palm of my hands, and there's been a huge amount of weird, really bizarre stuff that's unexplainable has happened around me. Now I'm starting to realize that the synergy seems to be pulling it out of me. And in this piece, I was mentioning this morning that I'm seeing the two different characters of people that are coming out extremely different. That opposite, that black and white, the good and the bad, and the yin and yang, is actually just like, it's actually almost like punching me in the face as I'm painting here. I'm not, you know, I don't want to sound, it sounds like almost arrogant when you talk like that when an artist. I'm not trying to pull something over your eyes. I'm not trying to, you know, make you or have you believe in something that you don't want to. I'm not a real believer of the spiritual world, yet all of a sudden the spirits are of this yin and yang, and synergy is actually starting to be produced in front of my eyes. So this painting, the simplest little painting, has actually made me graduate into something, and that's almost like this whole long speech is a warning. Suchiu has changed all of a sudden. It's changed into what I really felt in my soul and my heart that Suchiu was supposed to be. And synergy, you know, whether, like, I'll always do my realism. I love surrealism, and synergy really is a surreal form of art. I'm not moving away from all of that, but I'm just telling you right now that there's something really, really deep happening with this stuff. And you're scaring me. That's Colleen. Actually, I'm scaring myself a little bit, and I really am being honest with this. This is not something I planned to have happen. Although in my soul I knew that synergy was a real important part of what I was supposed to do in the art business, in the art markets, is to bring it to life. I spoke to a really good friend, and we had a good talk yesterday. He's my New York City contact. He has contacts by the hundreds, and if you don't know, where my Celebrity Synergy series, which is a larger piece, it's 36 by 36. They're going to be 30 of those paintings. They're all going to be done with famous people. There's 7 of them right now started, and a couple are finished. But we're actually going to we are setting up with a gallery in New York, and we're going to, as soon as this COVID thing and everything is over, I want to have my 30 paintings ready, because those 30 paintings are going to go on tour North America wide. They're going to start in New York. It's going to be a worldwide launch for Synergy, and from there it would go to a tour across the United States and then back through Canada. Anyway, so we working on the Synergy thing. Hopefully I didn't blow half you away and you all quit on me right now, but I think if I wasn't to tell you what's really going on with my art, I believe that would be kind of cheating you. Again, I love, my favorite art is surreal. Synergy is grabbing me, and it's actually becoming the crossover from just being a surreal piece to a Suchiu surreal art form. So Synergy is it. And Yin and Yang, this little dinky little painting, has taught me so much. It's not funny. So anyway, what I've done here is the orb is, I'm going to detail through, this is Colleen's part, and I find that it's just telling me it's so unfinished. So I'm going to actually work on this today a little bit. I'm actually going to deepen things down, because what you're probably not seeing, and I wish we could do this, but we're not that good with our cameras yet, is the original rough piece that we did. You would not recognize this to the original right now already. It's really taking good form. But what is happening with it, and I hope you could see it on camera, is these details, instead of coming out of the orb, they're actually moving back into the orb. So if you imagine this a crystal ball or paperweight. I mean, those beautiful crystal paperweights, I find them extremely intriguing because they're locking something into place. They're giving us the stability, and that's what I think is happening with the with this piece. And then as I go at it, it keeps on telling me to make it deeper and deeper and deeper. So I'm going to do a little bit of that right now. So if you see, there's a little detail in here, and there's a snake behind it. There's everybody has seen the snake. That's just something that showed up, but that is actually Colleen's personality. And the one, no, I meant avatar, I guess, when it comes to life, the Chinese symbol of the snake, the ear of the snake. Colleen is a snake. What the heck? I mean, you tell me you're a snake, but then you say you're not a snake. Well, what the heck, you know? So anyway, I'm actually casting shadows down in here, this metal band. I got some ideas of what I want to do with that metal band, but if anybody's got ideas that they think should happen on that metal band, let me know. Let's add a fourth person to the synergy piece. What do you think? That was like Bob Ross right there, wasn't it? Eh? Yeah. What do you think there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I just want to say hi to Ray Miller. Thanks for joining us. Bob Zarb, Cindy Deslett, how you doing? And how is your family? Staying safe, I hope.
So.
And
Ricky. Hey, Ricky.
We always do this to him when he comes on. Hey, Ricky, you're the fun.
Yeah, he's not Ricky anybody. He's just hey Ricky. Ricky Jones, Ricky Bob, Ricky whatever. No.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Oh, you notice my painting is moving around a bit. Let's just put that there just to keep it from wanting to wiggle back and forth.
I just realized I saw the metal band. It's hard to see in the camera.
Okay, metal band.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick it out. I don't know why.
Well, so on this orb, why did anybody ever put a metal band? That's the question, you know. So.
Ricky says the blue looks like a dragon.
The blue. Well, actually, I see a wolf.
I can see it too.
I see a very obvious wolf, and I should have seen this before. But there's a wolf's head or a dog's head right here. Yeah. It's sleeping. Yeah. Just put his nose there, and all of a sudden you'll start to see it. Huh? Uh-oh. Kelsey, get on what Colleen's doing. Uh-oh. Colleen's touching buttons.
No, I didn't mean to. No, I'm okay. Oh, you're still going? Okay. Just a minute.
So what I'm doing here is I've got just a pure blue, and this is the Suchiu blue that everybody, it's not really Suchiu blue, but it's, Colleen,
sorry.
Quit mumbling.
And Cindy Deslett, she says instead of a snake, I see a neck of a swan.
And that's, I love doing these parts where, you know, you see shapes that are just, they were flat, and the other day I was mentioning about these details because when I put them on, they were just like a little rubbed flat picture, and then as soon as you start to put the little highlights on them, they come to life. Well, actually, this is the fun part of a painting, is when I get a chance to go in. You start with the mid-tones, all of the mid-tones happening here. Then I like to go into the shadows, and I play with the shadows until I start to see something that's becoming the shape I want to see. In an orb like this, you're actually looking through, let's just say we're looking through blue glass or whatever it is. The deeper that object gets inside of the glass, the darker it becomes. So it's an optical illusion, right? I was watching optical illusions last night, and I found some pretty amazing stuff out there. But you know, I'm not even thinking that an artist is always actually building an optical illusion. My optical illusion is to force your mind's eye to not see the flat canvas anymore. So for me to understand that if you do everything mid-tone, it becomes a flat 2D object, right? Then if you go into shadows, you're adding an extra depth to it, and then when you come up with the highlights, that to me is what causes the reality to, or the realism to really come about. But in here, I see an object here, and I'm trying to always put shadows. Colleen announces herself, everything she's doing, so it throws me off a bit as well. Anyway, sorry about that. I wandered off there. Yeah, so anyway, to bring all of these details forward is to actually put some shadows down in here. So. And then to give it a real nice effect. I want to see this whole thing drop back in here, because you got this band coming down, and here's a shadow of the band. If I go, this is actually very translucent or transparent paint, and that paint down below, this is when you start to work dry on dry, so your paint is dry below, and now you get a chance to what a lot of people would call dry rub. And if I just dry rub, it's like baking something, I guess, or cooking something. But no, but if I dry rub colors on top, I can do it without changing the entire detail. Like I'll enhance the detail, but not lose the detail. So here's a shape that's happening here, but the shadow is not happening on that object below. So all we have to do is put a shadow. You put a shadow where that object is, and you darken it in. And here I'm going to go real dark on this part right here. And to see, are those things showing up, Kelsey? You think people would actually see that stuff? Or you would be a guess, eh?
It's like not every stroke you do that does, but after you add it for a little while.
Yeah, that's, well actually, you know, that's what I'm seeing too. I don't see the thing happening. It's not like you just take a brush stroke and everything changes.
Right.
It's like watching the grass grow.
Right.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, add some university term to it. No, I'm just kidding. So let's Colleen C. Yeah, so, and the problem sometimes with my paintings, you know, if you were to sit in my studio at times, I think maybe it is very boring, because it would be very boring, because I know the way to achieve something is not to just work on one point, but I've got to work on this entire thing until it becomes what I want it to be. And it uses highlights sometimes. I've got to clean up areas that I don't think look pretty, and I'll make them look pretty on purpose. Pretty, purdy, real purdy. And the blue has gone a little bit mucky here, so we're going to actually make sure it's not a mucky blue. It's going to be a real pretty blue. So Colleen's going to give me heck later for talking about how she announces it. I always just, when you whisper, I actually pay attention to it when you whisper. Well, no, you trained me to do that. It's your fault.
We will not go there.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Wait till later. Ron is in dire trouble. Yeah. We still have a lot of fun around here. That's the commitment for 2021 is have fun at work. You know, come hell or high water. Yeah.
Cindy Desolate says in the red, I see side view of a gorilla face.
And actually, that's here's okay. This is the salesman here. Okay, all of a sudden now the used car salesman got to jump in here. Okay, so Ron, the used car salesman. That's the reason you need one of these on your wall, because what I'm seeing in this thing, and this is what I was talking about earlier, is what I see in this is actually it almost looks like it's almost like telling the future, but the orb and this yin and yang in your house on your wall, I will guarantee will start to tell you stories about your surroundings. I you know I, I I don't know. I mean, how can you guarantee it? But I actually really believe that, I don't know, maybe certain things we do, or maybe it's just a matter of subconscious suggesting or suggestion that I'm coming up with that. But you know what? It is true to me. And that's when Cindy said that she's seeing a gorilla. And you know, it's my, okay, every time I hear the phone ring now, I think my sound's not working. Somebody's going to say our sound isn't working. Does it work? Are you watching it this time? Oh, ooh, we got headphones on. Okay. Marketing call. Keeps on getting deeper and deeper and deeper, this blue area in here. And now you're starting to see how the orb is really sinking back in. I hear somebody on the phone. I don't know how well you see this, but the details aren't really going away completely, and I hope they do show. I'm kind of checking my screen here all the time to see if you can still see it. But go ahead.
I just want to say hi, Greg Neeson joined us. Thank you. Oh, Jana Blair.
Yeah.
On your lunch?
Jana.
Are you working?
Oh. No. I don't know what this is, but it keeps on talking to me here. This little piece here, which seems to be out of place, but it, yeah.
That is something that's abstract, the other place.
Oh, I think that's, you can. So I was watching these things, and if you get a chance to look it up online, it's the 10 most powerful optical illusions, and some of the stuff blew me away. There was one that had a single dot in the middle, and it had probably 12 pink dots. And when you looked at it, all of a sudden a green dot showed up in your and started to go around the circle. dot dot dot. The pink dots were turning one at a time. It's almost like that thing where you see it loading, the dots, and there's literally no green dot on the picture. It's your mind's eye. Remember, I keep on talking about mind's eye here. It's your mind's eye causing the pink dot to go green for some reason. And then, if you stare dead center in the middle of this thing, the green dot keeps on going around, and if you stay focused on it, the pink dots start to disappear until they're all gone. And it's not an animation, because you can prove it to yourself very easily on this, because all you have to do is turn your eye away and then come back to it, and it's changed back again. And there's nobody is going to be able to guess when you're going to move your eye away, you know. So it's just the most bizarre stuff I've ever seen. It had me, but it also taught me a little bit about my art. And I don't know what it taught me, but I guess it is because optical illusions are that powerful, and it is what I mean. No different than sleight of hand for a magician. I'm using your mind's eye to see what I want you to see.
Well, isn't it, it's no different than you doing the painting and making it look 3D.
Well, that is exactly my what I think as an artist, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to taste the colors the way I taste it, but more important is to see the depth. That I always said that if you can still see the flat canvas when I'm done, I failed at my job. I have to force your mind to think it's deep, or I have to force your mind to think that there's distance, or that's just the job I choose to do in my art.
Ron, just Cindy's just saying your audio is going static at the time. Yeah.
You want me to try and move it?
Yeah.
Wait, it might be that I'm too. Okay, I'm gonna just. Can you just let's just shut it off for a second? I'm just gonna move it. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna give it a try. I just moved my mic a bit. I think it could be where I had it too. Maybe it's the rustling of my beard. No. And it might be that I'm overpowering the mic once in a while.
Thanks for watching out for us, Cindy.
Yeah,
We
thank
always
you.
appreciate those comments, 'cause sometimes we don't know. What's the matter?
No, we never know what we're really doing.
Is that better, everybody? With Ron's sound?
I can't hear anything because I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, well, testing,
Talk,
testing.
check. Check.
It's like that white noise, but other than that, I don't feel bad for this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully. So details are moving back into the orb, but they're still there. I feel it's very unfortunate, and I don't know the day that we'll discover how to do it right. That everybody that's walked in, and whenever it hasn't been on this one much, but whenever we have an original painting on the go, it's 10 times the painting live than it is. Well, maybe not 10, but it's certainly a huge amount of better, higher quality when you see it in real life than seeing it online. And that's something we've been trying to conquer for so long. We don't know how to do it. I guess other than having $500,000 cameras that they have to make movies or something. I don't know. I'll call George Lucas up, and my old buddy. See if he'll lend me a camera. It's funny. I don't know George that well.
I'm trying to look.
I'm not trying to fool you. That's because you're Colleen and she's Cindy.
What I do see, Cindy, is some beautiful flowers in the red. I see like a really pretty orchid type thing and a flower up top. I see a whole bunch of flowers. Ron tells me he sees something else.
Yeah,
I just find it
that's fine.
interesting how we all see different things.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
So you got something really, really jaggedy here, and I'm going to actually try and make it show up better. You don't know what these are supposed to be. Well, they're not supposed to be anything, are they? Still don't see the wolf, do you?
No.
Right there. That's
Oh, I see it.
That's his snout.
No, it's fox, not a wolf.
Fox. That's it. Yeah, fox.
Nose is too long for a wolf.
He's sleeping. This is a pillow. Right. Where's the fox hat?
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere in New Brunswick. No. I gotta explain what I just did.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
That's a joke, and
Very
it's
old joke.
about Chrétien wearing a fox hat, not what it sounds like.
Susan Turpin Palmer just joined us. Thanks, Susan. Nice to have you aboard.
So I'm going to do something really weird and scary here right now that I might wipe off in a minute, because I want to show you what happens when you do a highlight. So this thing here that's automatically happening, if I went and I highlighted it too much, which might seem like too much, it becomes the reflection of a window on the top of the orb. And the more I make it clean, and you see it happening, you know,
What do you do?
it's a reflection. That's not showing up yet. I did that too soon. So I am actually going to wipe that off. But it's there. It will be there in the end. Oh, look, he takes a rag and he wipes things off. And that's allowed. Actually, everything's allowed when you're doing paintings. There's no rules. There's no there are no rules. And today I find myself, I use a computer a lot more than I used to, because the computer is a fantastic tool, especially to find when you want models and stuff like that. You want to try to model something.
You said there's no, or Cindy said she was hard to hear me, so I'll speak up, Cindy. I don't have a mic on.
Oh.
Ron tells me I'm too loud anyway.
No, that's just not right. Okay.
When you say there's no rules, there's rules. What did you mean by there's no rules?
Is that what Cindy said?
No, you just did.
Oh no, I thought you said that Cindy said that.
No, she said that she couldn't hear me.
Okay. Well, there really aren't any rules. It doesn't mean that if you don't have any rules, it doesn't mean that you're a good painter. I don't think that's you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to lead people into believing that if I did some dumb thing here, that it's going to be nice to look at. But if you wanted to do something stupid on your painting, go for it and do it. You never know. It might.
No rules.
The no rules is there's just here. Well,
With synergy, is that what you're saying?
no, with the painting in general. Painting in general. Painting in general would be, he always pre-sketches his paintings, right? Well, that's a great rule. That's the way it's supposed to be. No, it's not supposed to be, right? It's what somebody says the rules are.
Okay, I got a controversy here. I just don't, because it's sort of like, so you can tell an artist who's a lazy, say,
Yeah, you can.
that there's no rules. So
Right.
they're just gonna
It
slap
doesn't
stuff
mean that
on.
they're a good artist, though.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I mean,
So there is rules.
in my eyes, I have my rules. Hopefully I didn't just hit the microphone when I did that, sorry. Yeah, I have my rules. You have your rules. But when is there a manual? Right? Is a manual to read and say, well, you got to be like this if you're going to be a painter? No,
Right.
it just doesn't exist. I'm going to use my steady stick here because I want to finally get at this little snake that everybody's been seeing. His head is being...
Al and Val Neville joined us. Bob Stewart, you guys visiting each other?
Oh,
I know, no, they're in their, I know that's their bubble.
okay.
No, no, I know that's their bubble.
Shadow on the snake's head from the band. The band? Put the band back together. Movie term, Kelsey. Kelsey's got to get used to us around here because we use movie lines a lot. I don't know why we do that. I guess maybe everybody does that. Yeah, yeah. So
Adam Peach just joined us. Thank you.
keep on throwing movie lines. Adam Peach.
What I think is interesting though is
Pesh.
Ron ran into somebody last week who didn't know anything about Star Wars. How can somebody not know?
Well.
I mean, this person is from here, lived like.
He breathes like a human. He looks like a human.
How can somebody not? I mean, at least know.
Well, I went a little bit beyond
Or
that.
heard about it.
Because he was asking about my art, and I said, "Well, my art is in the Vatican also," and he didn't know what the Vatican was. Now, we're not talking someone that was a young child. We were talking about someone that was in his 30s.
You used to watch the news for a day.
I don't. He would probably say, "What is the news?" Hey, believe me, there's nothing not intelligent. The man's an intelligent man, but when it comes to being around any form of media, it's just missing, and any form of world knowledge of the world, it's just not there.
Street knowledge.
Yeah, world. I mean, normal knowledge. You know.
That was kind of surprising.
But we are in a changing world because Colleen had mentioned somebody talking about we used the word tact once, and the person didn't know. Was it you, Kelsey?
No, the one in
Sorry.
Kelsey.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to make. I'm just saying that these words obviously aren't being used, and people, and I ran into someone in the same month with the same word that they didn't know what it was.
The word tact.
Tact.
Well, I don't know if anyone can hear me, but they say that people have more random knowledge because of Google search.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Instead of like contextual knowledge, because you used to have to read like books in order to find answers to things.
True.
Yes,
True.
you did.
And then you just get it in a second.
Oh. Oh, that's kind of interesting. No, I'm just trying because I'm thinking that you know, like when we were younger, I'm obviously showing my age. Pretty much every household had a dictionary and a set of encyclopedias. So if you went and looked something up, either a dictionary or an encyclopedia, for some reason you'd sit and then read the rest, you know, or look through it or read another page, and you know, just because it was interesting.
So now, and that was our internet, obviously.
Yeah.
That's cool. I wouldn't mind owning some encyclopedias. It's fun.
We did for years, but we got tired. Well, actually, we have a set of the Book of Knowledge for Ava wanted us to keep, and it's a full set of every philosopher and every major writings of philosophers in the world. Yeah,
It's really cool.
and they have cross-referencing format on it.
But there was the encyclopedias, and there were door-to-door salesmen that would go around and sell sets of encyclopedias.
Okay, so before we wander too far off the painting, I'm just playing with you guys. I'm still working on shadows. We're getting deeper, but we're also starting to see other details that are showing up a little bit, just in case anybody's interested.
Gary Fedden
Besides Colleen.
just joined us. Dave Shuttleworth. Hi, Dave. Nice to see you guys. And,
So
yeah, Cindy Deslip says the lighter blue looks like it would almost glow in the dark.
yeah, that's it.
Very cool.
That's Suchiu blue. I claim it. It's mine.
You know what I'm going to do someday, Cindy? I'm going to mix some glow-in-the-dark paint with the oil.
Well, here's one for you. One of the very first paintings I ever did, which is one that won't show up in the book, unfortunately, was I loved the Jason and I think it was called Jason and the Argonauts. It was one of the very first science fiction-y surreal movies that was done way back in probably the early 60s. And in the movie there were seeds that were thrown. It was In Search of the Golden Fleece. And there were seeds that were thrown on the ground. Maybe, I don't know, teeth or something, or bones. And when they landed on the ground, skeletons came up. They grew up just like like plants or trees that would grow up in a matter of a few seconds, right? Probably where I got a lot of my surreal stuff, because I really loved that movie. Anyway, in that I loved it, and then what I did is I did a painting of that, kind of a rocky scenery, a gladiator fighting off a flying skeleton with these beautiful wings. And I thought, and my aunt came over one time, and she had, I don't know why she did this, but she brought over this paint from Michigan. I've never seen it since. You'd actually spray it onto something and it would glow. With the black light, it would glow. Right? So I had this skeleton here with the wings and everything else, and what I did is I sprayed it. It was clear. You couldn't see the paint at all. It just didn't show up. And when you put a black light on it, the skeleton glowed. And it was really cool. I mean, for the time, it was like, it blew everybody away when they, hey, watch this. You turn the light off in the room and you put a black light on, and the skeleton popped up.
This aunt, is this
Aunt Mary.
Okay, because you always talk about when she'd come over, she sounds like she's into
Oh, she was a
you.
character.
Well, it sounds like she always brought you
Yeah,
some interesting
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Probably because I was so neglected and left alone. No, I don't know. Oh, you should just, you get an aunt that likes you, or, like grandparents usually have a favorite grandchild. And I know every grandparent out there said, "No, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't kid yourself."
Yeah, my mom like my brother and that's that.
Your mother was stuck with your brother, that's why. Oh, he's probably listening. Shh, 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 shh. Don't say things like that. No, me, I mean. I learned about 40 years ago that the thing is, you don't talk about the wife's family.
Wife's family? You're funny, Ron.
Oh, yeah. Your mother never thought so. No! Just kidding. Well, we are really rambling today, I'll tell you. So Colleen's side of the painting, has been the one that has been the most, I was saying to Colleen, the hardest to understand. And Colleen seems like the simplest person in the world, and everybody that knows her would say that. Not simpleton, but simple. She's point blank, she's a good person, she's loving, and pretty easy to define. No, pretty easy to define, right? But no, don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. I've been with Colleen for 40-some years, I still can't figure her out. There's certain things there, I don't know. There's a mystery there. Probably some mass murderer from the 1800s. Reborn, see? Reincarnation, yeah. The snake represents that past person. No. Okay, so please believe me, I'm just joking, everyone. Please, please, please believe me.
I don't have that in me.
No, no. So, but in this painting, sound like Forrest Gump, I found that her side, just as her character is not defining itself easily to me. It's something I'm not fighting with it, but it's not flowing out the way Kelsey's side did with me. And that's what I was starting to say, is it's actually showing, the paintings are showing different parts of personalities that evolve as I paint, and I'm not intentionally doing that. I think. It could be subconsciously, I don't know.
Now, question, because you've done synergy pieces with other people, does that happen?
I think what's happening with this one is that there's more personalities, and it becomes it's exponential in complexity. So a very simple painting has turned, because not two people doing it, but there's three. The actual character of the painting is becoming very, very complex to me. And that sounds like a bunch of hogwash. To me it does, but it's real. It's what is happening inside of my head when I'm painting. Does that sound? I'm embarrassed with myself here,
Well,
but
I just want to put a plug in because I don't know if people know that you will actually do a synergy painting.
I think you missed that earlier. Yes, I did say
Oh,
that.
I was out of the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's got a habit of that, leaving the room.
Yeah, I'm witness to it.
No, I know. Don't leave me alone.
How do you think this place runs?
Oh. You really want to ask me? No. Do you really want me to answer? No. You know what? I failed in art, right? Some people don't know that. Probably a lot of people don't know that. But I only studied art for 1 year in school. And I failed, not because of my art, I failed because of I was being artistic, and at the time it wasn't acceptable for me to do what I did in my painting.
You're talking high school.
High school.
Yeah.
Where was I going? I had a point I was going to say, but I've lost it. It's probably the paint fumes here that have got me going.
You think times have changed since then?
Oh yeah, probably. You know what? Maybe not. Maybe not. No. It's the person. It's the person who did it. It's not. It wasn't me. It was. I made the mistake of having a little. And I'm trying to sound boasty, but I had more knowledge than was expected of me at that point, and I think I made the mistake of correcting the teacher a couple times, because she was leading people way the wrong way in art at times. And that I should still should be reprimanded for that. But anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. Sorry about that. I lost it. Of course, I'm supposed to be paying attention what I'm doing, right? Thanks, Kelsey, for backing me up on it. Oh yeah, you're supposed to do it. Yeah, get her done. Get her done. Gotta get the blue happening here. I don't like the blue. I don't know what happened with this blue. It must have picked up some black or something. That's my chair squeaking if you're hearing something weird. That snake really wants to show up, doesn't it? Just doesn't want to let up.
How do you know when your painting's done? Do you feel it's done?
Yeah, I think you just run out of things to do. And then you look back 6 months later and say, I wish I would have done more, but I think at the time, that's the way I judge it is, you sit back and look at it for a while. Do I need to do anything more? And if it doesn't say do something, then you're done. This one's got a long way to go, and I apologize because it's going slower than most people would want it to go. But I think we got another day of actual painting. The next time I'm actually going to be doing the glass highlights on the sphere, and that is going to be an exciting time, because all of a sudden you're going to just see this whole thing really come alive. It's still sitting there fairly flat in the canvas. There's just something sitting here looking at me, and I don't know what it is.
How many days more painting?
Just we're going to do one more day of painting. Hopefully.
You won't be finished that in one day.
No, I'm painting a little bit of this when people aren't here,
Okay.
and then we probably do a formal unveiling and maybe show one of the pieces framed. right? I don't know. We'll see. I guess I'm supposed to know better, right? Of what's going to go on. Somebody answer. Somebody.
I perfectly did
I
not.
know. My God, just leave Ron standing out on the
Sorry, I have my
dock
phone.
ready to fall into the ocean here. Yeah, let him go. He can swim.
Hi, Gary, thanks for joining us.
Gary, who?
Gary St. Dennis.
Oh, okay.
That's funny. I see somewhat, I don't know why, and
Talk,
I mean,
talk.
me personally,
Say
I
something.
just mean, I just think you're gonna be working on it for a while.
Well, you know, if I am, we'll just have to keep people coming back and.
Of course, I just have to mention, because Ron as an artist doesn't seem to have a concept of time. Which, you know, good, bad, whatever, but you just don't.
Actually, I have a problem with that. It's been my entire life too. Not only don't know what day it is sometimes, but I don't remember the last time I saw someone. Or Jane Goodall's exactly the same way as I am. I've met very few people that I have zero concept of time.
Yet you have a good, an excellent concept of facts and numbers.
Well,
and things like that.
but doesn't the time is something different for me,
Yeah.
because I can see you a week ago and think that I saw you a year ago, and that's not, and it's real. It's not something I'm trying. You don't try to do that with people. But I remember at Ronstock one time, I had a lady came in. I said, "Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in like 3 years," and she says, "It's been 15 years." And I literally felt like I saw her reasonably recent. In our business, we see people 20 years after the very first time. But
Can I bug you to show people the frame that?
sure. Actually, I wonder if I could actually bring it up. I wonder.
Scary.
No, I could bring it close. And then let's just say before I do that, that's what started this whole thing going, was that I did the synergy piece with Dan Aykroyd. I did it with a red frame, a deep red frame, and then I did the piece with Prakash John, and I did a black frame. And what happened was I had 2 pieces of each of those frames left over that matched. And I'm going to go slide out of the way for a second, but I'll keep on talking. Okay. And what I've done is, we came up with a frame. If this is actually going to work, Kelsey, where that, I don't know, you tell me guys, does it look like anything? Can you see it? To the right.
Cool. Ooh, that's
To the other right.
really nice.
And that becomes
Ooh.
a yin and yang frame. That you can see it, eh?
I like how the black part
Can you
of the
move-
frame is part of red. and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other is
Is that the way you're doing it?
Yeah, it's planned to go that way. Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh, yes, you can
Yeah.
see it.
So in my painting, just to show you the little tidbits I would do that other artists might not do, is that frame is going to be sitting there, and all of a sudden you got red here, and there's red glowing down on this detail. And in my mind's eye, that was to portray the red frame being there. Where's that red light coming from, other than
Oh.
the frame, right?
You know what? The minute you're saying that, I just went back and I saw it. Yeah.
Well, it's totally missed until you realize that there's something there. And you know what? That's one of the details that, people ask me for hidden things. There's a lot of hidden stuff that you don't tell people. And if it's done very, very naturally, the more natural you do something like that, the more it becomes missed by somebody just looking at the painting. But it also becomes something that enhances the painting far more than it not being there. That is hard to say,
And can I just mention about framing,
because he likes framing.
no, but, and people don't realize that framing enhances, it changes the look of a piece. Like, that's a beautiful piece, but you get a frame on that, and it's just, both the whole piece together. And I get some people, artists especially for some reason, come in with their pieces and want a simple or a thin frame because they say, I don't wanna take away from the art, and they don't understand that, first off, we frame for the art. When I frame, I look at the art, it's got nothing to do with, you know, your room or what your colors are. You need to frame for the art, and it really does enhance it.
Yeah. Actually, I have and it changes it. And I'm gonna just
Yes.
walk off another. This is fun. This is just for fun. I had Colleen make me because we have a mat cutting machine that she can do anything she wants with it in a matter of seconds to design. So what I did is I wanted her to design a piece of mat that I could put up here just to check my circle, to make sure my circle was nice and round. And I watch the change that happens when you put a mat that's different than the background. So I'm going to change this painting right in front of your eyes.
Wow.
Notice the difference in the colors and everything. And what just happened?
No.
No, but I mean,
No, I
just to
know.
say the difference is unbelievable.
Okay, now you gotta put that frame back up on that, cause I can't believe the difference of that.
Yeah. So, but that mat was just like I said. I just wanted to double check that I was doing a real nice round,
What a difference.
and then you see that in the richness,
That's beautiful.
right? Hey, you guys are getting experiences that you can't get this anywhere else.
And
Nowhere
that's-
else but sushi art.
And
No,
that's what I
Suchiu art.
mean about framing. You need, when you frame it, you really do enhance your piece.
So I had, I don't know if you caught my personal, Kelsey works a lot on the business Facebook piece that you're actually viewing right now. And I still, just in case you're wondering, I still do most of my own stuff on my personal one. So you might have caught that last night. It was a man called me, a very, very, very dear friend of mine, called me from New York and said, hey, I was just watching a Man of War documentary. And he says, your painting's in the documentary. And, you know, I mean, a lot of people get upset about that because somebody stole my art to put in the documentary. I don't really care. To me, for my art to be put in with the real Man of War documentary, it's like, wow, that's actually a good, high privilege. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Well, okay. So, no, but the other document that we've been promoting a bit was Linda Brown's documentary of Suchiu, the Wizard of Art. And the man that called me is actually a screenwriter, and he's acted, and I mean, he's involved with people like big producers in Hollywood and stuff like that. And he says I watched your documentary twice. You know, it's a funky, eclectic piece of film work that Linda did. It's beautifully done. It's artistic, and it's a lot of fun. And Alan was saying how much he laughed about it. Well, I mean, he writes comedy movies, and for somebody that writes comedy to compliment us, and he complimented us very highly on that silly little documentary. And you know, when Linda was doing it, it concerned me because it portrayed me as the clown I am a lot, I guess.
Yeah, you are. And I think a lot of your customers
Yeah.
do you like that.
And well, no, when I watched, I enjoyed it. I thought that was fun because I got to know me a little different than normal because I got to know me a little bit the way other people would know me.
Kelsey's gonna put the link up for everybody, but it really is a lot of fun. It's a documentary, so it's not like 5 minutes long or something.
Yeah, they could stop and start it.
It's a good one. But no, get yourself a cup of coffee or tea or something like that, and sit down and watch it, because it really is fun.
And it moves through quickly. It's not something that there's no dull spots, I don't think. Other than that, the end, it gets a little repetitious, but hey,
It
that's
gives you a history of Suchiu in a way.
what it was designed to do, eh? Yeah. So, the documentary Suchiu. I joke about sushi, and every time I do that, people cringe around me because they think that people are going to pronounce my name wrong. But if you pronounce my name wrong, you don't know Suchiu art. you're not true Suchiu art. Suchiu art, what is it called? Heaven's Whispering.
You put the link up to your documentary. Kelsey was gonna put the link up to the Man of War documentary.
No, actually, that one, they can find that one.
Sure.
You can find that one on my face page. I put the link on that one, so. So here goes Ron, he's just moved off into another area for a second. Off in La La Land. It's just a Suchiu thing to
That's
do.
what's fun about you,
Yeah, well.
never boring.
Oh, okay, so I'm going back to the art teacher thing that I couldn't remember what I was talking about. I just remembered. If you're an art teacher and you're watching this, you're sitting there saying, this guy's an idiot. I know you're saying that. I don't even try to back out on that, because I'm all over my canvas. And believe me, there's a reason for that. Is when I'm done this picture, hopefully it will seem like a perfectly done picture. You won't understand why, but it's because I'm trying to equalize values on the entire object. So if I'm over here playing with this for a bit, and then right here I just notice that something, let's just say, this highlight has got to be a certain strength to me, or it's not going to do the job right. Down in here, it has to be a certain strength. Things have got to be a certain strength. This has got to be a certain strength. So if you're seeing me jump all over the place, it is intended. It's not something I literally, I don't think an art teacher could ever teach you that. I don't think so. Maybe. But what I'm feeling is that sense of color values, detail values, to make sure that it becomes this overall. I always look at the overall picture. I don't look at just one little piece. So all of a sudden something will pop out, and something you just did as I was speaking. This blue in here is the wrong value of blue. So I have to, or I won't feel good about my life ever again, if I don't go in and actually make that the true value of what I want it to be. And if you, as an artist, you never get that, then too bad. Eat your heart out, because it's something that I think is a natural thing. Well, that was a nasty thing to say to people, wasn't it? But it's true. No, it's actually, there's an artist I met in London who actually has a course on color values, and I probably should take it sometime. It'd be interesting of him, because he seems to he has come up with his own formula as how to teach artists to bring up the color values proper.
I'm not sure how much further you want to go, but it is 1 o'clock.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys, I'm sorry about that. Kelsey, next time throw something at me. Well, anyway, so I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to prepare. I want to get this painting to the point where it's dry and ready to be highlighted, and hopefully I don't screw this up, because the highlighting of this painting is going to be something that just makes it an amazing painting when it's done. And the one thing we didn't do, and we are going to do at the end of this all, with normally in Synergy, when people put their original colors in, I have them sign it. We're going to actually wait till the end of this painting, and then we're going to all three sign, and it'll be in turn, and we're going to actually synergize our names. We're going to actually lock our names together. Anyway, yeah, we are going to do that, whether you want to or not.
I was just going to say, Kelsey and I in your studio when you're not here trying to figure
No.
out.
So until next Tuesday at 12 o'clock noon, and if it's wrong, if noon's not a good time for you, if you don't tell us, we're not going to know about it. But so it's noon next week, 12 to 1 next Tuesday, and then hopefully we'll have the painting done that day, and then we're going to move into the next day will be, hopefully, if it might not be Wednesday, it might be Friday or whatever, but we'll actually arrange for something and have something shown, done, and finished and ready to go. Okay, good.
Kelsey will keep everybody
Yeah.
posted in your Facebook.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you to go to my channel, the Suchiu. Is it Suchiu Art? Is that where all of the videos are?
Suchiu Art and Framing.
For your YouTube,
Yeah, for YouTube.
I'm
it's
sorry.
our Suchiu.
Our Suchiu. Okay. Our Suchiu channel on YouTube, and go in and subscribe for us, because we're going to be launching videos that don't always reflect on exactly what I'm doing here, but they should be of interest to you. Okay. Ron Suchiu, we're going to sign off right now. I know we're late, but thank you for coming in, and please subscribe to my channel. See you later.